Reddit, what was your most expensive mistake? Spending all my bitcoins back in the days way before they went through the roof. I bought a box of mixed tea for $2.5 million. I remember a barber shop in my town advertised they'd accept Bitcoin. This was way back at the start, that kind of thing was unheard of. I wonder how many million-dollar haircuts were actually given. You would have sold long before $20,000, not sure about $20K, but it's, of course, true that I wouldn't have sold them exactly at their highest value, I give you that. Selling the condo I own outright with no mortgage and putting it all towards a new life with my ex-long-term relationship partner who later cheated on me and left me after 9 years. He got the house. I left with a quarter of the money I sunk into it. Lesson learned for me. I'm a dumbass. Hugs. Relationships are at times the most expensive mistakes in the world, especially if they don't end amicably. Yes, I have been there, except without the house. How the heck did he get the house? Honestly, just curious how that works and how people would protect themselves from that happening. So shitty. He got the house because I never got my name put on it. I gave him a lot of money to fix his credit so we could eventually purchase said house and have a new life. And my sale of the condo went directly to heaven on the lake. I truly thought we would grow old together and did not see this coming in the slightest. We only had the house for a few years when we split, so there wasn't much equity or anything. He paid me back for part of my portion and I never got a lawyer. I fucked myself though and fully know that. My fair share of failed college classes, same. I took classes in psychology, criminal justice, chem, bio, and the like, just trying to find some subject that clicked. At some point I stopped caring and got lower and lower grades until I had to drop out or waste thousands of more dollars to just get myself out of probation. Big mistake going in so blind. A lot of people aren't ready to handle college at 17 to 18. I didn't do well at my first college, even got a couple D's and F's, but then graduated magna cum laude after I transferred schools at 19. I did the same thing, though I didn't end up finishing until in my 30s. I think the option of going to community college would have helped me. Just get the feel of college and live out on your own. I speak from experience that I hated school when I was 18 to 19. So I finished the AA I was working on, then joined the Navy. After 5 years of that mess, I went to university and loved it. Turns out a little bit of maturity goes a long way. I swapped price tags on a video game at Walmart to try to save $20. Never was arrested, but the county had to come out to talk to me, so they filed a civil suit. Probation cost me over $4,000 and shoplifting on my record cost me some opportunities. Worst part about the situation was I had plenty of money at the time, but I was young and really dumb. Wait, you swapped price tags and got in that much trouble? Did the "it was like that when I got here" excuse not come to mind? Paid for it. Confronted by a secret shopper who told me I was caught. He let me know someone was watching me on the security cameras. Long hair, young dude, looked like I could definitely be shoplifting. Secret shopper promised I wouldn't be arrested, but I needed to come with him to make it right or I'd be banned from that store and would likely have a warrant for my arrest. The store made me pay the difference and I sat in the office with 2 police officers filling out paperwork admitting I was wrong, and I understood the Walmart was choosing not to press charges. Took several hours, then I was released. A couple of weeks later I got a court date in the mail. 17 years old, always stoned, living with my parents. I thought I'd show up at court and pay a fine and my parents would never know. Didn't even cross my mind to talk to a lawyer. They never cuffed me but took my mugshot and put me on probation. $2,500 and 180 hours of community service. Drug tests monthly for 6 months. As if that wasn't bad enough, I cut a significant amount of my finger off, took off whole fingernail, through the bone, working in a restaurant trying to pay probation. Because of this, I couldn't complete community service. No options besides physical labor, which I couldn't do for months. Forced to extend my probation and pay another almost $2,000 USD in fees to probation company. I was a great kid and really never made bad decisions before this, but a few days before the shoplifting incident I found out my girlfriend of 2 years, who I lost my virginity to, was fucking her college professor. My head was in a bad spot. It was a hard year. Drugs and the purchases I made while using. When I was 17 I received an inheritance. Not huge but enough to party on pretty good for a few years. Blew it all by the time I was 20. What a waste. Honestly, nearly a whole lifetime later, still one of my biggest regrets. Had a friend that got an inheritance right after HS and did this exact same thing. He got a small place and it was the party house for everyone in town. Between the coke, hookers, kegs, weekly parties and random shit, he probably blew $50K in 6 months. It didn't last long and he was broke and kicked out after a couple years. Sucked at the time, but he's doing good now. I almost lost a friend over something like this. He came into $22,000 through a distant relative and it was like a switch was flipped overnight. He started acting snotty like he earned the money and tried telling people how to invest blah blah blah. Fast forward a year and all the money is gone. He bought a new car, like a moron, and blew the rest on booze, weed, and going out to eat. Oh, and an MLM that pretty much threw him to the wayside when they found out he was broke. Thankfully our friendship survived, but man, it wasn't a fun time. I asked for a dev to make a change on our website to test something. Forgot about the test as things got hectic. Turns out that dropped the lead count by 60% for about a month. Cost the company well over $200,000. Nobody knew it was me. Yikes. This is the kind of story I was looking for. Talk about shitting bricks. The second I saw this test still running, I almost had a heart attack and spent the better part of a month at stress level 9000. Change it back and ask for a raise, improved lead count by 250%, resulting in a 2.4 year profit for the company. Telling my wife that it's fine if she wants to go sleep in the car, while she was drunk and tired at a house party. Not even super drunk, just drunk enough to be like, fuck this, I've been up since 6 AM and I'm done. Several $1,000s to fight the non-DUI. Learned about operating the hard way. The mistake was that the headlights were set to auto and it was winter/night time, so that was the giveaway. So if the headlights were off she would have been fine. Yes, it would have drawn less attention that someone was sleeping in the vehicle. When I was 7, I accidentally brought $800 worth of Star Wars movies. I kid you not, when my father finished scolding me, he stormed into the living room, sat down, turned on the TV and started watching the Clone Wars. Getting a journalism degree, similar situation. Creative writing major, class of '94. Have been an underwriter and now a secretary. Waste of money. Creative writing major, class of 2017 here. Should have studied something more useful like business management or marketing, or just not attended at all. Oh well. Getting a degree in journalism, I thought about it, worked for the UCLA paper, which was the #2 paper in the area next to the LA Times, but didn't do it because at the time I was learning about ethics in journalism and was already being asked/told to do unethical things. I'm so glad that I didn't get into it. Journalism today is absolute garbage. No standards, morals or ethics. That would have hurt my bank account and soul. Missed an international flight home and had to buy a second ticket, same. $450 plus a bus ticket that cost me $200. I was 18 and had to repay that shit for almost a year. Damn, lucky I'm not the only one. I was 18 and late to my flight going to London from Tokyo because of a slow train and ended up paying £450 for a flight back the next day. I feel you, haha. I was in Dominican Republic going to Montreal. The only flight available was to Quebec City and there was only 4 places left on the plane. We were 4. Luckily my friend knew someone in Quebec City so we could stay the night and take a bus the day after, which was an 11 hours bus ride. We laugh about it today, lol. Lol, well hey, at least we all know how it feels to miss an expensive flight. Not many people get to experience that kind of loss. I let my wife do our taxes. After she submitted them, she filed for divorce and pocketed the entire tax return. I don't think that's legal, just by the smell test. It might be a civil tort, but if it were a joint tax filing, it would not be criminal theft. Nah, it's perfectly legal. There's no theft since you both have to sign off on the tax return. And you can get the money put into whatever account that you want. The money would just become an asset that's divided up in the divorce. I got scammed by a dentist for a custom mouthpiece to help stop grinding my teeth at night. She said my insurance would cover it, got a bill for $3,000. The piece doesn't fit in my mouth anymore because my teeth have shifted. It's been 5 years, I try not to think about it, but it comes up in the back of my mind randomly. Just to clarify, it's a piece of cheap plastic they made out of a mold. Definitely not worth that much money. A dentist that I went to about 20 years ago. I was 18 or 19 at the time and tried this dentist BC. She was right by my work, tried to sell me that shit too after she did my x-rays, telling me that I was a nighttime teeth grinder. I informed her that there was no way I ground my teeth in my sleep. BC at the time, I slept wearing my plastic retainer that covered all of my top teeth and the front bottom teeth as I had only gotten my braces off a year earlier. I straight up called her out for trying to scam me and my insurance and walked out. I went right back to my regular dentist for my damn 6-month cleaning. I've learned that any dentist that actively tries to push products like that aren't worth my time. As a dental student, this makes me really sad because that can easily make such a difference to someone's life, but they might not be able to afford it. Plus they can eventually wear down too. That mouth guard probably cost less than £50 to make. I managed to get one for free from my dental school. I'm not sure how it works in America, but maybe next time it might be worth getting one from a dental school. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have a similar story, share it in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. Have a great day, or night.